My name is Ariel, and I was a very committed Dr. Joe student since back in 2019. I pretty much memorized all the books, and I went to the 2019 event. You know, the one with the kangaroo up there? Yeah, I was at that one in Australia, and I'm just gonna put that to the side right now. All right. So a few years went by, and I was down in Guatemala over there for some time, and I was having a lot of symptoms happening in my gut, and I totally ignored them for about 2 years or so. And it got to a point where I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna go see a doctor, like, get a colonoscopy. So I went into, so I went to get the colonoscopy, and when I came out from the anesthesia, the doctor looks at me and she says, you have Crohn's disease and you need to start taking these meds right now. And you're gonna have this for the rest of your life. And I looked at her and I'm like, but what's Crohn's disease? And my entire body was like flushed down with blood, and I moved into a total fear state. I was like, I didn't even know what it was, and I was gonna have it for life, and it didn't sound good. And I was like still under that anesthesia, you know? And so after about a day or two, I finally kind of like came to myself, and I was like, okay, wait a second here. Like, I get to decide. Like, she's telling me to take these meds, but I get to choose. And so like a voice inside of me said, no, like, don't take these meds. Like, go the natural route. So let me tell you a little bit of what I was experiencing, like the symptoms at that time. The first thing is I was 50 pounds underweight. I literally, okay, there's me. I literally was, pencil thin. And I was going to the bathroom like 7 to 8 times a day. I actually could barely walk to go to the bathroom. I could barely even go outside some days. And I had like chronic fatigue, memory loss, vocabulary loss, hair falling out, blurry vision, all the gut symptoms, like all of them. And just like other one, I'm trying to think of some other ones, because I want to share ones that are like, you know, that maybe other people can relate to too. I mean, when I would look at, I wasn't digesting foods well at all. Like, my body wasn't absorbing nutrition, obviously, as you can see. So when I would eat like a bag of pumpkin seeds, you know, and then I go to the toilet, and I look back at the toilet, it's like there's a bag of full pumpkin seeds in there, you know? It was scary. So needless to say, like, I really couldn't do anything at all. I couldn't take care of myself. So I moved back to Toronto, and I was living with my mom. And yeah, thank you, Mom. Wow. Yeah, wow. Yeah. And I started taking all the supplements. I mean, I had a handful of capsules, and I would just down them every day, maybe 2 times a day, like $10,000. And I changed my diet, and I like eliminated. I was down to 15 to 20 foods for 8 months while I was taking all these supplements. And I was also making some like lifestyle changes during that time. And I had an online community that was helping to support me, and a coach. And after like 8 months of these supplements, I had a moment where I was like, this voice just said like, hey, I don't want to take these supplements anymore. Like, this is not doing it for me. And I also realized that like the lifestyle changes that I was making, those were really having the bigger like little shifts for me. And up until that point of like after 8 months, I was like, the only thing that had been resolving, which I'm grateful for, was slowly gaining more weight. But all the other symptoms were drastically still there. And so I stopped taking all those supplements cold turkey, and I just decided, like, I'm going to tune in to the body intelligence that innate intelligence in my body and connect with it, like, and evolve your brain, how it talks about. And I had all the teachings also from that I had learned for so long, and I'm like, all right, let me actually listen to what my body wants. And so I started to pay attention and make changes in my life based on what my body was asking for. And I also started to do meditations and really focusing on healing my digestive tract from like top to bottom. Every single day, every single morning. And it became my favorite part of the entire day. And bear in mind, like, I was in bed for like 17 to 18 hours a day. So like that morning time, it was like, oh my God, yes. It was about like a few weeks into doing these meditations and making these lifestyle changes where I actually felt like I had a moment where I was like, wow, I am the person that I've been dreaming of for the last 2.5 years. And when I felt that, I was like, wow, this is, I was like, this is the culmination of everything that I've been working towards, and I didn't even realize. And now it's like I was living as that person, that dream person. I felt like this illness is the biggest gift I have ever received in my life. And even though it was the hardest one, it was the most beautiful one, and I am never going to go back. I just want to keep on changing. I was hooked. But what happened a few days later was I was sitting in one of my meditations, and this voice came and said, okay, it's done. Your gut is healed. And I was like, wow, okay. I wasn't attached to anything. I was just like, okay. And 2 weeks after that, all of my gut symptoms 100% disappeared. And yeah. Thank you. And all disappeared. I was still dealing with the chronic fatigue, like 17 hours a day in bed, and lots of like body achiness and body pains and things like that. But as Dr. Joe says, like you see something like that happen, and you're hooked. So I just wanted to keep changing. It felt so good to just keep being this person that I had been dreaming of. I'm like, I want to get to the next iteration of this person and keep transforming. And I know that that's what healed my gut. So I continued. So I started sitting in the generous present moment every single day. I would sit in that space. And like you were just saying, it's like you become so aware of all of the thoughts and all of the emotions that are going through, and you catch them just by sitting there. And I would sit through the fire every single time. In fact, I knew it was healing me so much that when the fire would come in my life, like something would happen, I would go and sit in the generous present moment and sit in the fire. And that was changing me every single day. And then there was a time in my meditation where I had this voice come back again, and it was just like, all right, you have to go to another Dr. Joe event. And I was like, I'm not going to another Dr. Joe event. Like, I barely leave the house. It's been like 1.5 years, and I haven't barely left the house. Like, how am I going to go all the way over there? And it would come back every day for like a few days. You got to go to Dr. Joe event. You got to go to Dr. Joe event. I'm like, okay. And so I applied for the Give to Give grant, and I received the Give to Give grant. And wow. And I'm forever grateful for the Give to Give Foundation and Vero and all of her team. And I gotta shout this out to Casey and her team, because I would not have been able to come here at that. I was like, how am I gonna go there? Everyone was telling me, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she talked to me and she's like, well, we're going to have this and like this and this and this and this and this for you. Because I was like, I've been to a retreat before, and I know like what it's like. And she's like, don't worry, I got all these things. I was like, okay, this is possible. This is possible. So I was going to be coming to the retreat, and then 1 or 2 days before flying here, I was getting myself mentally and emotionally prepared, and I realized, oh my God, I am the next level iteration of this person that I was dreaming of. Once again, like it had happened. And in that moment, I felt so much worthiness to be healed again. You know, from like all that chronic fatigue, like everything that I was experiencing, all the body pains, the aches, I was like, I am worthy now. And I had no attachments when I came here anymore. I just know, I'm like, I'm gonna come to this retreat. If I experience something, great. If I don't, I know I'm still gonna be healed, because I don't need the illness anymore. I received the message that I needed to receive, and I am that person now. So thanks. So I flew here, and on, what was it, the second, I think it was like the third day, we had the Botek meditation. It was the second one. And I was already starting to feel a little bit better. But in that meditation, I had a moment where there was like it was happening real fast. It was like some energy just right here in my first center, and then it just like literally shoot it up all the way to I don't know where. And this voice came back again and said, okay, like you're healed now. And I was like, oh, I didn't even go to the coherence healing yet. I was like, hey. So since that day, morning, I've been having more and more and more energy just progressively every single day. And I have shown up to every single thing that we've done here. I've sat up, just back straight, every meditation, not even on a chair. And I've been doing 10,000 plus steps every single day. I was only walking like 3 to 4 blocks before I came here. Some days I could only walk 1 block. And 10,000 plus steps a day, and I'm going to my room in the evening times, and I'm not like collapsing like as soon as I get there. I'm like awake, and I'm walking, and I don't have body aches when I go to sleep at night. And I woke up in the morning. One morning I woke up, and I was like, I walked to the toilet, and I went to pee, and I was like, oh my God, I have energy to stand up and pee this morning. Yeah, thank you. Yes. I think that was it.
Isn't it amazing that he trusted the unknown and showed up here? He would have never had that moment in the blessing of the Energy Center's meditation if he didn't show up. Trusting in the unknown will never let you down. It never lets you down. And then blessing the Energy Centers, connecting, aligning, attuning, and that energy from his body that was trapped in those lower centers moved right to the brain, and there's a baptism that goes on. And he's renewed. He's renewed. He has energy. The energy that was stored in the body in terms of imbalance and incoherence was liberated as pure energy back to his brain. He's the example of truth. He practiced. He started the meditations. He realized that he had to make changes in order for his health to change. That was his ambition. That's what it was. And then he starts noticing that he's actually stepping into the person he's becoming by overcoming his old self. Shows up worthy to receive. He's in the perfect state of receiving. There's not a whole lot of effort at this point. It's just him showing up, and every day he keeps showing up. Every day he keeps getting a little better. This is the future him that already existed at the end of the event, that's more whole, that's more healthy, that's more vibrant, that has more energy, that has no pain, and it's him. Thank you so much.
And changing the environment was really what did it for me. Like being able to come outside of the space that I was spending 24 hours a day, every day, and the same people, same food, same everything, and come and have all the things like be taken care of for me so that I can just be like doing something different, being around different people, being in a different space. And then it's like that change in routine, that change in environment helped me to step out of it, which I did not expect it was going to have that level of effect.
Well, it's important for us to retreat from our environment, to be renewed, to create a greater mind, to disconnect from the people we know and the places we go and the places we live and the things that we do at the exact same time, long enough to remind you of what you already know, that you're the creator of your life, and then give you numerous opportunities to apply. Give you numerous opportunities to overcome yourself, give you numerous opportunities to connect, to retreat from our lives and fill our brain with knowledge and information and be around community and feel nurtured and taken care of and inspired by one another. That's the perfect environment for transformation and change. And that's exactly why we retreat from our lives, to disconnect from our environment. Thank you so much, Ariel.